Welcome everybody to a bit of a different video here. This video is a bit of a popular request, I would say. I am planning some other videos as well, but this is obviously a game not played by me. My first time. I commentate over the game somebody else watched. So I'm gonna give a quick shout out to Abreu, I'm not sure how I should pronounce it, I'm sorry in advance, on the Discord for suggesting this game, because it was a really interesting game to me. To give some context on these players, I have never played Wolf 71. I have lost 3 times LordOfCold, I believe, and won 0, so it's actually somewhat uncommon for me. I think I have a positive win rate against all my opponents on the side except for LordOfCold currently. Quick Sporters, I'm currently in the game. Plex surely is gonna beat me as well. But I've actually never managed to beat LordOfCold. And one of the games I played against him was actually on this map. And he completely destroyed me. I do think mixed bases are probably my worst map. So basically, when I played LordOfCold, he quickly took the center, and I kind of couldn't recover from that. I was just like 7k behind the entire game. And then later I used like the same strategy, fighting for the center, and I was able to crush somebody else just completely. But then, a bit of a plot twist, Plague in the Discord actually stated that he thinks the center is a bit overrated on this map. But I feel like this game, the center does come into play once again. So I kind of just want to go over, and I'm actually very interested in what you think. Like, I kind of understand Plague's point, but I think it is just very hard to execute. And I'll talk a bit about why I think that, and kind of like my thoughts on the game, of course, and kind of the results of some things. I'll come to it when we get there. Alright, so let's get it started. And the first turns are, of course, not all that interesting. We're just building some inventories. There's not much to say here. Oh, actually, one interesting. The bike building spots are always intriguing in the early game. I also kind of like building 2 bikes from this. Actually, I like one bike here, and then the second bike here is what I like. I think to go this way. I don't remember. I don't like the bike. Where to build the bikes in the early game is just very interesting to me. We do see different approaches with Wolf going for like one less bike and on a different place. As we see, LordOfCold once again going for the middle, but not completely. He's not going for this one with the bike. He probably doesn't want to get fighting early. Even though I've kind of learned a bike in a city kind of beats an infantry on the road, even if they surrender the first strike. He could have probably done it, but he decided to go for the peaceful route. This is of course a chain with a nice chain with the bike. Also something to talk about here. Interesting. LordOfCold going for the airport last. I've actually, pretty interestingly, I'm spectating the Teachers game currently against Bleak, and that's a Tabata mirror, and they actually got to a point where Bleak was able to snipe a unit over here while the airport wasn't ready to make a copter. So I felt like that was actually a big deal in that game, but that's a different game. But it's pretty interesting. Alright, I actually have to pause a bit here. We have both players making a tank on the bottom/top bases. And basically that means we're gonna have a very non-combative start. Both players are going to be strong on different sides of the maps. We have also fairly interesting Wolf pretty much not capturing any of these, not trying to capture any of the pros, just going for the fight. We're seeing a lot of fight over both this property and this property. And that is always interesting because these properties are kind of in one turn range from both bases, so they're probably they require a lot of resources to fight over, in my opinion. Yeah, so it kind of makes sense. We're seeing a lot of fight over that. Alright, so we see a second tank over here. Wolf really going for the top left quadrant, it seems, while also making a tank on the bottom right to defend a little bit. And yeah, okay, so next turn for Wolf, that's actually going to be a very interesting play. Something that I hadn't really thought about much. Alright, so we have a very interesting situation here, where LordOfCold is kind of winning this fight. He's kind of winning this fight over here as well. But there are two tanks coming, so that is probably temporary. But I would say on first glance, the fights are being won by LordOfCold, while Wolf 71 is on the side capturing these properties faster. Sorry, not quickly. He's capturing them faster, while the fights are currently favoring Wolf a little bit. So Wolf is gonna get the income advantage here. I haven't been paying much attention actually who has it before. Wolf is actually it's pretty interesting. They've been kind of flipping the income advantages back and forth. But yeah, Wolf is gonna get ahead 2k here. This one not so much. And he is gonna, yeah, and then LordOfCold is then gonna equal, but not go ahead again. Okay, so I think the income is pretty equal, but I do feel the fact that Wolf has a bit more uncontested properties going to be captured in the bottom left currently, although this is technically contested. We'll see what happens here. Oh no, it's gonna finish this turn, right? But this is the interesting play, right? He goes for the HQ capture while the tank is clearly in range and he can't block this tank. And then he goes for the HQ, or for the CO inside the tank here, while forcing this tank to go over here, so he can't get double hit by LordOfCold's tank. And yeah, so that's interesting to me because it's a play I haven't really seen much of earlier. Wolf also going very defensive near his own HQ. Probably smart. I've been hurt before. But he spots the danger of this bike, and actually on this map it is, while your base is super close to your HQ, it is actually really vulnerable because it's so easy to block the right side with the bridge and the river. It's very hard to move across. So I thought this was very interesting because right now LordOfCold is kind of forced to make sure he doesn't die in his HQ, right? And I was pretty certain. Yeah, so there's a main thing that surprised me, and I'm very interested to know if you guys can maybe theorize with me why LordOfCold doesn't put the CO in one of his tanks this turn, because I feel I feel it's just a lot of value lost here. So we'll see what happens here. So he just goes for this hit. I think this kills if you put your CO unit in it. We can actually quickly test this out. Quick calc, even though it's sometimes a bit hard. I think it's this one. if we have D2D promotions 3, it has a chance of killing. It doesn't really kill. But yeah, I think I would put put Lin in here. Because yeah, I don't know. I feel like if you put Lin in here, you're not as worried about the counter attack from this tank, because a Lin tank, of course, is +50/+50, and like you can even block afterwards if you really want to. So yeah, I think I would put the Lin in here, and I'm very curious if you guys have like a reason why he maybe didn't. Yeah. So he also doesn't put it in this tank, and that was basically the surprising part to me. He didn't put it in either vehicle. Like, I guess you can say he killed it anyway, right? But don't you want your CO on the map at this point in the game? Like, Wolf is getting a really nice value. I do think Wolf CO is like more important to have out on the map, because it gives like a constant advantage, kind of. Also, where did this thing come from? Okay, I have to. Sorry, like this is. Bear with me, guys. Like, this thing came from here. Interesting. I don't think I would have gone for that personally. Like, taking a hit for, yeah, I don't like that. Okay, so this is kind of hard for me, right? It's my first time commentating another player's game, and like, I didn't play this game, so I don't know what was going through their heads. I'm just not sure. But I do think this trade is absolutely bad. Yeah, I don't know. I think he doesn't get the kill back. He also decides to put this in range of this copter, and he could have stayed over here. Not sure why he did that. Like, yeah, maybe probably just a bit of a mistake. Maybe playing a bit too quickly here. And he's also getting a bunch of value out of his mech. Right, this is what I'm talking about. Blocking on this map really easy. Wow, this is just a bit of a demolishment here in the middle. And this is kind of what happens when you lose the middle, in my opinion, on this map, right? You have LordOfCold kind of locked up in here, needing to defend, needing to build a bunch of units, not being able to move them. And then from the middle, we're gonna see him not have enough units from the other side to contest the middle, so he kind of has to retreat over here, because you can't attack into this, right? You just can't. Forced to base skip here. He puts the CO in a war tank. Now, this may be a bit controversial, but I believe if you're building a war tank, it's a sign you're probably losing. Having to put your CO in a war tank, I think, is just a sign that things are going bad, because look at that. He only has 9k left after that. He's very, very poor. And basically this even more makes it so he is pretty much forced to like he has to all his money is on this side of the map, basically. While having more tanks, you can more evenly distribute your army value over the map. So being forced to defend this so heavily, and like I say, he kind of has to retreat over here, because he can't really deal with this. And also, I think Cassie's CO power is very, very good. And now, because he retreated, all these units are pretty much free kills. And he even goes for the entire. Wow, he wants more, huh? He wants blood. But he does go for the free kills over here. And he built a bomber. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's a nice war tank over here you invested. You invested more money in this war tank than I did in this bomber, and my bomber is a million times better. Like, yeah, I'm not a fan of war tanks. yeah, like right now, you can just kind of see he can't really push out. He can't contest this because he can't sync his army up. So he has to retreat to this base, and he's retreating to this base, and he's kind of in all three of his bases while having to give up the middle. And I feel like this is kind of what happens when you lose the middle on this map. But like Plague, who is of course the best player in this game, has said multiple times that he thinks the middle is a bit overrated on this map. But I'm not sure what you do when you lose it. So I think this is pretty much gonna be it. It's just so many free kills. We have 23 units to 16. And like, I think this, yeah, okay. So let's look at this end state, right? Because this is a bit my experience as well with this map. If you lose the middle, you have units near this base, you have units near this base, and you have units near this base. And the opponent that got the middle just gets to choose which one he wants to take over. So he decided to go to the top left, like this is gonna fall. There is, like, especially with the bomber, there is no unit that can be built to hold this assault. With a power, that bomber is going to be a veteran in one turn. Maybe doesn't even need to use the power. It is looking very bleak for LordOfCold here, so I completely understand the resignation. But what I don't understand is why, like, let's go back right to what I think was a bit of a key turn. Yeah, so here, deciding not to put the CO in this tank is something I don't really understand. With the CO, he could actually put some pressure from the other side, I think. I also really don't understand this hit. It's just a free hit with the tank back. Maybe he was expecting but he doesn't even cover. All to stop this capture. Maybe he was feeling desperate already. But I don't think he has a reason to feel desperate at this point yet. I think this is probably the last turn and things were equal. But like after this turn, when the great trades happen for, yeah, maybe LordOfCold could have done something different here, huh? Yeah, maybe, yeah. So he has to retreat. This is, of course, I think the winning move for Wolf. Being able to pull away this tank to make sure he's able to kill everything over here without pretty much any contest is, of course, very painful. That's the wrong button. And like, yeah, so getting these very nice trades, but I don't know, maybe he should have built. He also built an anti-air here before there was even a copter. Yeah, I don't like building an anti-air before the copter on this map, because the copter can go two ways, right? So I like to see which way it flies and then build the anti-air personally. But maybe he could have built something else, right? What did he like? So he built the tank here. How much money did he have? 17k. You can't really build an anti-tank because the mech is here, of course. It's already pretty rough over here, but what did this thing do? Just killed this. Okay, yeah. Maybe a medium tank here would have been better. To already kind of like, yeah. So I think this tank here is the main thing that caused him personally. Once again, I'm sorry. This video is not as well condensed. This is my first time commentating over somebody else's game. I really don't know why he did these attacks. If you guys have an idea, let me know. I'm very interested. This is of course out of range of this, but once again, I think giving up this free hit and then next turn. Moving it to the top here to be able in range of the copter just gave Wolf such good trades that it was kind of hard to come back from, especially combined with the mega tank. yeah. And then also from here on out, I think he just had the income lead and never really let it go. Yeah, it's also won a couple turns. Yeah. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you thought about this video. In the comments, in the Discord, wherever. Thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, bye bye.